Don't let your mind fool you without even knowing it's fooling you. You guys know I'm usually nice, right? Well, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a wake-up call because a lot of people keep messaging me the same thing over and over again. I know that I'm guilty of this. That's why I'm making the video on it. And I know that a couple people around me are guilty of this. So maybe you're guilty of this too. Mind tricks. You know, every Sunday when I've been sending you guys that calendar for 7 days to let you guys know, okay, make your plan for 1 week and stick to it. You know how I tell you guys, okay, make a plan, decide if you're gonna do OMAD, decide if you're gonna do alternate day fasting, and decide if you're gonna do water fasting, plan your week. So what a lot of you guys do, and I'm guilty of this, is that let's say, for example, you decided you're gonna do alternate day fasting, or you decided you're gonna do a water fast. So all of a sudden, the time creeps up, it's coming around dinner time of the day that you committed to a fast, and all of a sudden, you get tempted by something, so your mind starts playing these tricks on you. Well, I think I'm gonna do OMAD. OMAD's good. OMAD's really, really good. Let me just do OMAD today. The thing is, yes, OMAD is good, but I want you guys to stick with the plan that you made. The reason for this is not because OMAD is bad, or not because eating or fasting or whatever kind of intermittent fasting window you're doing is bad. It's because if you allow yourself to change your plan at the last minute, this will allow you to slowly lose discipline without knowing it. The whole point of making a plan is to stick with it and be disciplined and learn how to say no when it's not the time to eat. So what a lot of us are doing, and a lot of people are messaging me, is that they'll tell me they're fasting and they'll commit to a fast, and around 6 p.m. when they get home from work, all of a sudden they message me an hour later saying, hey, it was blah, blah, blah event, or blah, 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 I made dinner for my family and I decided to do OMAD today. So my first reaction obviously is, okay, that's fine, OMAD is great, but remember that you just convinced yourself to eat. That's your mind playing tricks on you. It's not because you were feeling a certain way. It's not because you were feeling ill. It's not because you were having any symptoms. It's just purely because you decided to listen to your mind and make an excuse to eat when you weren't supposed to eat. Now again, I want you guys to plan your fast. If you say you will do something, just out of principle, please stick to it. I'm guilty of this, so I have the same struggles as you guys. But let's make it really, really important that if we make a plan and we decide we're gonna fast, that we absolutely need to fast no matter what. Unless we're feeling a certain way and actually have a good reason to break our fast. And you guys know I always tell you guys to check with a doctor. But if you have no reason to break your fast and you just all of a sudden kind of psych yourself out and you wanna eat OMAD because you know OMAD's good, that is something that's a problem. Because what that does is that every time you do that, you kind of go backwards and you're ruining your self-discipline and you're ruining that mental resilience that you've been building with fasting. Don't give in to temptations. I know you might have an event, but you told yourself and you made a promise to yourself that you would fast. So whatever it is, you have to stick to that plan. You can eat in a couple days. You can eat at any point. You know what I always say, you have your entire life to eat the foods that you want. You have your entire life. So how is it that it's such a familiar pattern that when people get to like 6 p.m. on the fasting day when you typically want to eat dinner, all of a sudden you psych yourself out and you do OMAD? Now this is a cycle that repeats itself over and over and over, and that's why a lot of people have these false starts for fasting, or that's when they kind of fast for 24 hours, get to OMAD period, and then fail. And again, you know what I say about failing forward, I even got it written on the shirt. But you have to be aware of this, that you are actually actively kind of ruining your self-discipline every time you give into those cravings. So if you make a plan, you stick with it and stay with that self-discipline. Another thing that I want to tell you guys is that sometimes when you get to that like 6 p.m. dinner mark when you're supposed to be fasting because you made a commitment to yourself, sometimes you kind of try to find excuses. So maybe you'll be there Googling all the symptoms of fasting, or fasting in my adrenals, or fasting in this and this and this and this. And then you'll kind of try to find an excuse not to fast. Even though actually prior to that you had done a lot of research about why fasting is good for you, but then the time that you want to break your fast because you don't feel like fasting and you kind of just want to break that promise to yourself, you start Googling all the reasons why you shouldn't fast to give yourself an out, to give yourself an excuse not to fast. So I've done this before, and one example that I had is that, let's say I was doing a fast and it was like 3 days and I wanted to do a 10-day fast. So I failed a couple times on my extended fast as well, because I would tell myself when I got to 3 days, maybe it's not good, maybe it's not healthy, you know, maybe it's not a good idea to do these long fasts all the time, even though I know the evidence from myself, my personal experiences of others, and actual research that I've done that the long fasts work well for me. But sometimes if I'm not in the mood to fast, I will find an excuse to convince myself that those long fasts are not good for me in order to have the excuse to break my fast and feel like it's justified. So you see what I'm doing? My mind plays tricks on me and on us in order to convince ourselves that the best option possible in this particular situation is to break your fast because you have a justifiable reason. A lot of people do this also when they're supposed to do alternate day fasting. I have people message me all of a sudden and they try to change their plan and like, maybe this is not the best option. So if you told yourself you're gonna do alternate day fasting, then you kind of Google something that say it's something about your hormones or your adrenals, and then you say, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should just do OMAD. Or if you're supposed to do a long fast, you might tell yourself, well, maybe I should do short fast, maybe that's the better option. And I'll tell you this, every single option and every single fasting protocol you actually try will work, because any fasting is better than no fasting. So if you want to do alternate day fasting, if you want to do OMAD and a low carb diet, if you want to do extended water fasting, every single one of them will work. The difference is, if you commit to something, you need to stick with it. It's not about one is better than the other, this is better than the other. You can experiment with all of them. But if you want to experiment with all of them, if you make a plan, stick to that one. If you stick to it for a while, the time that you committed that you would stick to it, then you can decide, okay, maybe this didn't work for me, maybe it's not the best option for me, so I'm gonna try alternate day fasting as well. But if you wanna do the alternate day fasting, you stick through it the whole time you're supposed to do alternate day fasting. If you want to do OMAD and you committed to OMAD, you do OMAD the entire time that you committed that you're going to do OMAD. If you want to do a water fast of like 3 days, you commit to that water fast as long as you said that you would commit to it. And afterwards, if you don't feel like extending, then you could switch to a different plan like alternate day fasting, rolling 48, 72-hour fast, those types of things. But the key is, do not let your mind change your plan at the last minute without kind of giving you permission to do it. Do not let your mind take control and give you an excuse and give you an out to change your plan at the last minute. Especially when there's no reason to do that and you've made a commitment to yourself that you would stick to that plan. That's all I'm trying to say. So you guys know, like I said, I'm usually nice, but sometimes we need these wake-up calls for myself, for everybody around me, and for you guys watching. Just be aware that our mind is tricky and our mind will actually go the lengths to actually convince yourself that this is a justification to break the plan that you committed to. So remember that. I hope this is a cute little pep talk. I hope this kind of made sense. I know I repeated myself a lot, but I hope you guys can listen to this video and understand that this is what your mind does and it's totally normal. So be self-aware enough to understand that when you get to that tough point where you don't really feel like fasting, when you committed to fast, around dinner time usually, that's when you're gonna kind of fall off track. So stay alert, understand that this is going to happen. Go on waterfastingforum.com, write a journal and write down all the reasons that you wanna break your fast or change the plan, and then kind of try to work through it like that in the journal if you want to understand, okay, I'm feeling like this, my mind is trying to trick me and justify not to do my fast, and this is why I'm doing that. And then you'll realize, okay, I think my brain's actually trying to psych me out of this fast and make me quit. But at least you have it down on paper and you could kind of see your circling methodology to understand that your brain's actually tricking you and you're kind of getting fooled by it. So I hope you guys liked this little quick video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to our family, subscribe to our channel. If you guys are not part of waterfastingforum.com yet, that's a forum that I built for our community so we can all interact with like-minded people and talk about the fasting-focused lifestyle. That's also what this channel is about, so stay tuned. Watch my next videos. The links are all in the description box below. And if you guys want, this is my hoodie. This is the Fast Forward hoodie. And you guys see the Fail Forward on the back. So if you guys like this and you want to support our community and be part of our fasting fam and you want to support it, then make sure you get one of these hoodies if you feel like it. Don't fall for the excuses of your mind. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.
Bye.